Okay, well, a couple of things are wrong with me today, if anyone is interested in how I'm doing. As you can see, rages are high, and technical difficulty is also at an all-time high. Internal medical technical difficulties are also at an all-time high today. Never has smashing something that cost $450 been so good and so perfect an experience. It was the perfect combination of rage and catharsis I have ever experienced. So hopefully I don't get addicted to this kind of stress relief. But dear Wacom, this is the future of all Wacom products in my house. Have a look. Well, there's a piece, there's a piece. Your stuff is shit. You probably built it so that it deteriorates from the inside out with some sort of stupid glue, I don't know what time bomb that you've got set up in there. Some kind of way where the device deteriorates from the inside out, causing strange software reactions either with drivers or with the computer's ability to recognize the driver or recognize the USB input, or with the computer's ability to speak to the driver. You've probably built some way where it's deep into the infrastructure of the tablet. Fuck you, Wacom. You're full of shit, and you need to start getting your shit together if you want to so-called corner the market. You've lost a customer completely with me. You're never gonna get a customer like me back. I don't know if that means much to you, but I have quite a big audience, and I will continuously vote against Wacom for the rest of my channel's existence and for the rest of my videos. If you are currently having issues with your tablet and would like to buy a new tablet, please do not buy a Wacom piece of trash. They've cornered the market, and like Apple, they've built their devices to deteriorate from the inside out, so you have to keep buying new devices. What's the point of building a product that lasts? They're not going to come back for 5 years, and they don't see a profit margin with the same group of people for 5 years. People don't shop as much. So we've got to find ways to make these products, make these people come back for more products, and how if one product serves all the purposes they need. So they come out with gimmick shit, like some kind of extra little feature Cintiq piece of crap. They come out with extra crap, touch crap. Nobody gives a fuck. This had touch, this had wireless, it had all kinds of extra stupid little features that made the computer have the hardest time cooperating with it and speaking with it so the driver could work, so that I could get my fucking job done. I recommend all other types of tablets too, because I have never seen such extensive driver issues with one group, one brand. I have never seen so many driver reports in a single forum using the same Wacom brand title. I have never seen this before. Not even Apple has this kind of technical difficulty with drivers or some kind of the device's ability to speak with the computer. I've never seen this before. Never buy a Wacom, okay? Stop buying Wacoms, everybody. Boycott these motherfuckers till they get their shit together. Okay. I'm going to look at a couple stuff. I'm just going to leave this here for the remainder of the day. All right. So I'm making a statement, so just bear with me. I hope Wacom sees this. Wacom likes to add advertisements on my channel, despite me asking YouTube or messaging YouTube against this. I don't want Wacom advertising their products on my channel, on my videos, but they just do it anyway. So here's me giving out my real opinion about Wacom and what Wacom's all about. Fuck you, Wacom. Wacom, whatever the fuck your name is. Alright, let's just get started. I'll get you back up there, you piece of shit. Alright, I bashed this thing like it was a rocker guitar or electric guitar. That's how I went at this, and it felt so fucking good. It felt so fucking good to be finally rid of this piece of shit. Anyway, let's get started today, shall we? I'm using a bamboo that I've never used before. I'm sorry if it is a little bit weird. I'm sorry for my delay today. All right, let's get started. So this is a submission for the Robot Children Challenge, and you have a couple of problems here. You went for the baby face. You probably used a reference. Let's talk a little bit about age signatures. Everyone focus. Age signatures, though they get away with them and their use in photographs, of course, it's a photograph of a face. Everyone's going to see a baby with laugh lines or cheek dimples or, you know, extra little weird dimples across the face or ridges or trenches and that are caused by laughter. Of course, it's a photograph of a baby with wrinkles all over their face, but as soon as you draw it, as soon as you think there is you can just transfer all those age signatures back into your painting, you have an old man. You have an old man who's stuck between different ages. I just saw a post on Imager today. It was a really funny post. And it was about how they have ages that are between 5 and 45. It's really funny. I wonder, Abu, if you can find it for me. It's on Imager. It's that little baby girl, the girl with the really big haircut. I wonder if you can find it for me so I can show people. But one of the biggest ones that does not transfer over from a reference is this one. The laugh line. When we get rid of it and replace it with a thicker line, like something like that, that's when we get that baby face back. We can't think that we can cause like the same kind of effect or tell the same kind of story biologically, skin-wise, or portrait-wise as the reference does. So write this back to me. Some age signatures or some details from a reference don't transfer over into your painting. It's mostly in age signatures. Sometimes it's in texture. Let's just say it like this. Textures and age signatures don't transfer over into a drawing. Write that back to me. So what does that mean? It means that you have to look out for anything that once it becomes a silhouette, once it becomes a outline, once it becomes a drawing, once it becomes a symbol, once it becomes a blended painting or something like that, it'll instantly look uncanny. All right, and that's really the key term here is uncanny. All right, so I'm going to be on a campaign soon, right before my break for the 25th. I'm going to look for a great tablet, and I'm just going to read through all of the reviews. I'm going to go through all kinds of online stores, and I'm going to find a good tablet that I can stand behind. But until then, I am, from my experience, years of experience with Wacom, I do not recommend Wacom, as you can tell. So please do not get Wacom. Wait for me to get a good tablet. If you currently don't have one, wait a week or two, or 1 week actually. Maybe even before this week I'll order one. And right now I'm using a bamboo, an Intuo. It's really, really basic, beautiful little thing. It's the only thing that I have ever recommended for anyone. I still believe that its drivers are shitty and that it's, I'm sorry, see what just happened? See that hiccup where it just suddenly loses pen pressure? That's exactly what I was just talking about. It's not double click speed. It's nothing. It's none of that business where you have to turn off your computer's pen display, whatever. It's just, it's the drivers. The reason why I recommended this one out of all the trash that Wacom sells in their store, out of the trash, look at that shit. Because it just doesn't have oh my fucking God. It doesn't have buttons on the side. Look at this. This is wonderful. This is a great day to be alive. Look, this is a wonderful fucking day to be alive. It's just all rage today. It's just all war rage. It's rage of legends right now. Oh, God damn it. Okay, so what was I saying? Age signatures. Let's just take a look at what this did. What I also did was I moved the mouth to be closer up to the nose. Why did I do that? Because when old people age, their mouth ages away from their face. It's being pulled down. The face, as I've told you many times, is the mouth is it's mushy. It's very, by the way, feel free to laugh at my rage. If I was in the audience, I'd laugh my ass off every time I get pissed off. I laugh at myself too when I watch my videos over or I'm editing them. I'm just there laughing at the way I rage. So please feel free to just laugh and let out some stress. Proxy it through me. But what we have to remember is that when we think about a nose, it's more rigid. Eyeballs are rigid. Bone doesn't really sag. It probably does over time deteriorate in its own way, becomes more hollow. But skin, and I've told you guys, an under-rendered lip is a well-rendered lip because it's very mushy. So because it's skin, everything sags when you get older. And so the mouth sags away from the nose, and it creates this space between the nose and the mouth. And that makes it look extremely, extremely old. So when we have this extensive distance and have a combination of that extensive distance and those laugh lines, you just had an old man. So you have to find a way to consciously break the rules that came with your reference and preserve some. You don't take all the information from your reference. You're not a photorealist painter, which is basically being a human equivalent of a printer. There's no skill in it whatsoever other than just like literally printing out pixel for pixel. I'm sorry, I can't find myself respecting photorealism. What I love is how an artist can consciously pick and choose at the fundamentals and the anatomy, knowing what they need and what they have to leave behind. This is especially prevalent with texture. You don't actually paint it pixel for pixel with a texture. What you do is you create the illusion of the texture. So when you're painting from a reference, all you want to pick up is the distances between the eyes, the kind of tilt in the eyes, the color of the eyes, the skin tone. Sometimes you can't pick up all that you pick up out of a skin tone because, again, greenness around the eyes and pigmentation around the nose and mouth, which is very normal in a photograph, in your picture makes them look like a skeleton villain, anemic, sick person that has no nutrients in their blood. It does not transfer over. Some details from your reference will not transfer over, and that's why I think there is more skill in picking and choosing from your reference to create your character than just flat out copying a fucking photograph. Like there's skill involved in that. So remember, there is a serious amount of danger that you're in when it comes to painting these portraits. Is the risk, especially if you're using reference. We have to use reference. I recommend it all the time. So be very, very careful. I'm going to pretend like the filter or like the lens is colored. That way it doesn't look like he's wearing a see-through pair of frames. I mean like a lensless frames, lens-free or whatever, hollow. So I did that. And because I did that, I'm going to get my smudge brush and I'm just going to blend away at some of these wrinkles you have under the eye. Again, these don't transfer. He's going to look like an angry little baby instead of an angry man grandpa baby thing. Okay. He also had a beautiful little sag here that made him look like an old man. Our eyebrow flesh, our eyebrow bone, that fat around the muscles around that area, not the bone, that all sags as well, and sags on top of the eye and causes like this droop. Also the missing eyebrows or the thin eyebrows also made him look like an old man. So do you see how old he looked? So if you want him to look like an old guy, this is all the stuff that's involved. I'm going to blur the edge of his face because that's the lens causing this. And I'm going to darken the whites in the eyes. Again, the lens is causing this. And I'm going to lighten around the blacks of the eyes. Oh gosh. There are a number of tablets I'm going to be looking at. Hopefully I find a good one for you guys. Next, oh sorry, one moment please. I'm just going to drink some water. Okay, what's next? The size of the head. The size of the head made him look like he was a teenager, or he's reminding me a lot of Donald Trump, which is getting me a little bit more pissed off today. And I'm already at such a like an enraged disposition. So what happened is, it's because his head is the same size. His head has got a baby face. but he's got this really pretentious, like a chin. Do you see what I'm saying? So it kind of looks like Donald Trump. But I will fix that, I promise you. Hopefully we will all fix that one day. I'm gonna make the head bigger. When we make the head bigger, he's gonna look like 8 years old. He's gonna look like, the bigger the head, the younger the body. The bigger the head, the younger the age. Now he's gonna look like he's between 5 and 6. An angry little cutie. Tiny head. Young baby. It was robot children. It was not robot teenager. It was not robot. It was like the highest you can go is preteen, and that was the first head increase that I did. But I just moved it all the way up because we want to pull from that cartoony silhouette. And this is me telling you guys time and time again, please check your silhouettes. Check your silhouettes first. Check whether or not it looks like a child from just the silhouette against the black against white. Because there's so much rendering power in the silhouette. Write that back to me. There's a lot of rendering power in the silhouette alone. Can anyone explain why there's rendering power? I could just sit here and explain all these fundamentals, but I want you guys to get involved as well. Why is there a lot of rendering power in a silhouette? Who can answer this question for me? What I'm doing right now is I'm completely grayscaling the background. We don't need any other color. In fact, we don't need any other shade. We don't need this enraged fire. Let the painting speak for itself. We also need a lighter value in the background to explain where all this light, where all this saturation is coming from. On his shoes that you've used a photograph for, on his hat, on his jacket, there's so much saturation. Only sunlight or a bright room would allow all this orange to be visible, all this lightness in his skin, all the reflection on the gun. All of these are like the submission etiquette. It's just how you submit your work. It's clean, it's nice. It's a character design. It's not an illustration. An illustration is when you bring in a background. An illustration does not have a level camera. It has a high or a low camera. It has a tilted horizon. Usually an illustration has some kind of sunlight, has large shadows, as if you're taking a picture of someone outside, not someone in a photo shoot. That photo shoot, gray background, basic background environment is what it means to have a character design. You're just designing the character alone. Clean up your backgrounds, please. All right, silhouette is the largest and first shape we see. Excellent, Kelly or Sally. That is a beautiful answer. That's exactly what I want to hear. There is a lot of rendering power in the silhouette because a silhouette is also a contour. What do you mean by contour? It gives an easy read, right? So the read is there, but what is it that's being read that we have to make sure we have when we're doing just the silhouette stage? The silhouette is important because it gives a good read at a glance, and it defines the body type, age, gender, and gesture. So that's what it means by read, that you're deciding on the gender, the body type, the everything. You're deciding on all of that. You're designing everything before you even got into designing. That's what it means to really bring all the rendering power and maximize it just for the silhouette. I've covered this in all of the character design challenges we've had before. Okay, so please remember all of that. It's so important for your, just for the success of your painting. You have all this other stuff that you thought was important. Do you see what I mean by old man? It was very uncanny. And he's got like this wife beater thing going on here. This pattern, it just reminds me of like those tank tops. A bandana is huge. And if it looks small compared to the person, we're using it as a scale reference. So what it means is that this looked small compared to his body. It made him look huge. So he's basically like a 50-year-old humongous guy with a baby face, which again was really, really awkward. So how do we remedy that? How do we correct that? Well, we just get that same bandana and we make it look huge on him. I'm in a very happy mood. Very, very happy. Just look at all that happiness today. All right, so I'm just going to lay down some really, really basic shades. Nothing extreme, just some basic stuff. Basic, basic stuff. This tablet is gonna actually make me have a heart attack. Like, it's gonna make me have a heart attack. I'm just laying down a value. Okay, so this is just really basic, but hopefully it gets the message across. Big bandana to make him look like a small person. So that's the point of reference. And then finally, just his legs, they're just way too big. They're way too long. So we're just going to tuck those back up like he hasn't had a growth spurt or he hasn't gone through puberty just yet. Feet also tend to look a bit big for kids. They look like cute little feet. But you can get away with these tiny little feet right here. Don't use photos to render for you. Render it yourself or don't try it at all. When you use photos, it becomes a photo bash, and a photo bash is a very specific genre in and of itself. But try to render it yourself first. Okay, so if that was a bandana before, it just looked like a wife beater. It didn't really look, it wasn't really helping this baby look like a baby. Alright, he looks like he's either 12 or a chubby 12-year-old or a really tough looking 6-year-old, a chubby-ish 8-year-old. I mean, it still looks like a kid. It's reading as a kid. There are some other things that are making it difficult to read it as not an old man, which is again that chin that I was referring to earlier, that really Trumpian chin. So I'm just going to make it as if the cheeks are very large and have tucked the lip away into a normal size. And I'm just going to take care of that chin. You see babies, you don't really see the chin right away, you see the cheeks right away. Alright. So sorry for all the salt mining today. So sorry for all the recent salt mining. I've just been like on edge. People have just been getting on my nerves. I've had very little patience on the road, in life, and it's just because of this back problem. It's just made me realize, hey, life's too short to mince words. You know what? If you need to tell a nurse or a doctor or anyone else to just fuck off, just say it. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I think I'm getting senile. I think I'm reaching that age. I mean, I'm 27, but I feel like I'm 60. I feel like I'm reaching that age where I no longer give a fuck. I'll go to the store in my Crocs. I think soon that's gonna start happening. I've never done that before. I've never gone to the store in pajamas, or I think that's gonna happen very soon. What I'm doing is I'm smudging out the lips so they don't look like they're makeup or they're drawn on, and I'm using a soft brush. Where are you, soft brush? To get this done. Woo! Oh my god! Woo! Woo! Who needs pen pressure? Let's go wild today. Fuck pen pressure. Who needs that? Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna go crazy. Alright. I'm gonna throw a shadow over here. Hell yeah. Okay, it didn't freak out on me. I think there's a program that runs in the background. I've seen this issue before. There's like this program that runs in the background that just completely throws your it's not this, it's the whole post of yeah, that throws your pen pressure out the window. So alright, so before, old man. He's a very old man. Woo! Every time, you know, let's play that game where we have a shot every time the pen pressure goes out. That's all you're good for, by the way, Wacom. You're just good for that game. Let's have a shot. You're a drinking game. I think the future of Wacom is just Wacom tablets are used in bars for drinking games. Every time the tablet has a driver issue or a pen pressure goes out, we have a drink. I think that's the future of your entire establishment, Wacom. But yeah, so there we go. Cute, angry, whoops. Cute, angry, adorable, wrinkle-free. Very wrinkly. Excessive detail around the jaw and the jowls and the mouth and the nose pigmentation and the eyes. You can't use a brush that has a texture or a trail for a young face. Be wary of brush texture or trail or grain when you're rendering something that is beautiful or young. Write that back to me if you can, if you've got the guts to try to remember everything that I just said. Basically what I mean is when we're drawing a face that is young, youthful, beautiful, babyish, from beautiful maiden to babe, we have a soft brush or a grain-free brush, or we clean up the trail. We just don't infer that texture on top of a soft face. We just end up having, do you guys want me to scare you? Weird baby from Passion of the Christ. We just end up having this. Alright? We just end up like, we have this fucking thing. I don't know what the fuck that is. Big head, small body, and fucking demon. Like, what the fuck is that? Is that supposed to symbolize, like... I don't get it. Why is Satan so beautiful? And why is this so... Oh my god. Anyway. When I saw this, it kind of freaked me out. I was a kid when I first saw this. But I hope this haunts you if you don't study your age signatures. I hope you guys remember this. Without those wrinkles, without this laugh line... even the nose is fine. Eye size is fine compared to the nose. Just that distance between the nose and the mouth added that age. If I wanted to right now, I could probably edit this so it looks like a much cuter baby. Even this is normal. This indentation before the cheekbone, that's all baby silhouette. This is a baby silhouette. If we just did black on white, this is a baby silhouette. It's when we have this extensive grain texture or a cluster of brush texture or brush grain around these areas, which are the first to age, anywhere where there's a fatty pocket, anywhere where there's eye sag or extra skin, we end up having something uncanny and scary as fuck. So that's kind of what you were pulling from. It wasn't the exact Passion of the Christ baby. It wasn't the weird Satan baby, but it was nearing it, and it's my job to make sure you stay very far away from it. I'm just going to show where that cute face is wrinkling up. Those cute little dimples are being pushed in by the, he kind of has a smile, and at the same time he really has like this pout. I'm going to give a quick little bump on the nose to make it look like the bridge hasn't developed. When you get older, your bridge develops, and eventually you have a full bridge. But a baby should have nothing like a full bridge. See that? It made it look like a saggy old man nose. What does that look like? I'll have to scare you guys again. Old man nose. Oh god, Google. Don't fail me. Oh god, it's going to give me some weird shit, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just going to use this guy before I scroll down any further. Do you see that? There's no bump on the nose because it's fully gone down. It's very large. Eyes are close together. Mouth is large. Sag. And then mouth is wide, sorry. And signature laugh lines that are the biggest giveaway for age. Also these. Which is another reason why that freaky Jesus baby looked really weird. I mean, Satan baby. So what we have to do is shrink this, widen the distance between each, and use that baby, that the beauty triangle or the golden ratio for beauty, and we just use that to pull off this angelic cherub feature, and then we end up having the baby. You only have so many tropes to pull from when you're a designer. You don't have an endless myriad of faces to pull from because life is beautiful and faces are diverse. Yeah, in photography, you can go ahead and take a picture of anyone you want, grayscale it, and call yourself an artist. But what you cannot do in art is you have a certain set of kinds of faces you work with. You can alter them slightly before they become uncanny. You are always in danger of being uncanny. So you either have the baby face, you have the beauty triangle, you have elf, or you have ogre, or you have male, which is in between both, leaning on baby, or you have ugly male, which is normal, leaning on ogre. I've covered this before in one of my classes, and you just have to make sure that you're working from, you understand those tropes and you work from them, and that's it. A tank has a small head because he's bronze over brains, and a twerp or a beaten up nerd protagonist has a big head and a small body. Just think of the characters, silhouettes in How to Train Your Dragon. We always have these repeated features throughout everything. We always have these same tropes. So just remember that. It's a little lesson on character design today. Okay, please apply all of these changes. You don't want the old version in your portfolio. People aren't going to hire you to be uncanny. Most likely they're going to hire you to be just design their characters for them, and this will show them that you can work with tropes and understand basic tropes. Let's see what everyone's talking about. Yeah, this is an addition to my carpet. It's addition to my decor at home. This is just 1/2, or like I think 1/3 of the decor that is my living room. So yeah, I have a really huge living room, and I really needed something to fill this empty area. I've been trying to decide what I should add to this wall. It's been really difficult trying to find something to add to this wall. As you can see, it's empty, and I've been waiting for a good canvas that I can find online or something. But I think I found it. I think it's just going to stay there for a good while. I'm going to give you the updates on how OC finds use for these pieces. Maybe she starts playing with them. I'm not sure, but I'll keep you guys updated. All right. Let's talk silhouette some more. What we have here, let me make my point. Let me just be a bitch extensively today. I mean, I've already gone this far. And just hit the nail on the coffin's head. I don't know how that saying goes. Okay, so there we go. And then we've got black for the inside. G. Okay. So if you were to see this from a very far, let's say this far, what does it look like to you? For me, it looks like a whale, like at first, because I'm an artist, so I'm going to see that first. It looks like a whale, but like a bunch of water. I'm not going to see a mermaid first, because you've cut off the waist. The waist, the thin waist, you've cut it off. For a female, we have thin waist, big butt, always. That's the trope we're pulling from. All right, so what you gave me, this silhouette review, this basic silhouette revision, you've, with the hair, canceled out the waist. You've filled up this entire area. Probably the most appealing part of a female body in silhouette is the waist, and how it becomes the hips, and how it becomes the shoulders. You also gave me really, really masculine shoulders. I mean, this girl just, how does she, underwater, develop such upper body muscles? I mean, is she rock climbing? Is she doing pull-ups? Like, how is she getting this kind of muscle structure? Okay, so we need to fix that. She's very cute. She looks like she's a lightweight head-wise, but she's got the shoulders of someone who takes testosterone. And then her waist is completely missing. And it looks like a shrimp with a salad on top of it or something like that in the silhouette stage. So we got to fix all of that. How do we fix it? Very, very quick stuff. First, we have to relieve, just like all of this, we just have to relieve it. See you later. You're a tiny little piece of hair. You are so not more important than the silhouette of this character's waist. You are not more important. Trust me. If we were to put you on a scale and put the waist on the other side, you would not measure as more important for the character's silhouette, or the characterization of the silhouette. All right. I'm going to take this stiff arm, this Barbie doll arm. If you don't know what I mean, just search Barbie doll, and you'll see how they come with these arms that are pre-bent, because we really needed a pre-bent arm. And so they end up, you know, they look very stiff. They look pre-made. They look like mannequins or something pre-posed. So please don't draw pre-posed gestures. Write that back to me. Can anyone explain to me what I mean by pre-posed? Pre-posed. Why is it more important to see something is supposed to be just from a silhouette? Why is it important to see what something is supposed to be just from a silhouette? I answered that earlier. Can anyone answer that question for her? I'm just going to unlock this layer. I'm going to take you and actually I'm going to delete you and then just, I want her, she's kind of swimming, right? Like that's what you were doing. You were kind of making her look like she was doing a side paddle underwater. So we can do that. We can add to that. We can relieve that silhouette from all of this extensive blocking, this stiffness, and we can show where the waist is. And we can just help the gesture along. So we're getting so much back for just a small little correction. I'm sorry, I'm not going to waste time trying to figure out whether or not the arm is right. I was just trying to pass this as presentable for the demonstration. Hey, look, we got the waist back. So let's test the silhouette again. I'm sure the silhouette will pass this time. Oh, motherfucker. All right. Pre-pose gestures are very stiff and don't make the body features look connected to the rest of the body and the action. Excellent. There's no gesture at all. Pre-pose gestures means you've only shifted really angularly and awkwardly one group of limbs and you haven't adjusted the rest of the body to match that kind of motion. So you didn't, it's like you didn't take a picture. It's like someone doing a robot and then you took one frame of that dance move, but you didn't take, it's not an actual full gesture and animation and it shows one frame of the animation. Whenever I have students who suggest or request a unit on gestures, I always make them study animation because it's the best way to get a hold of your understanding of what it means to draw a gesture. It's part of a greater movement. So you have these pre-posed stuff that makes it look very, very stiff. Okay, so to add to this, we move over here and now we have, oops, select inverse and then select inverse. All right, now what do you see? Now do you see a mermaid more than you see a whale, or is there still something missing? In my opinion, there's still something missing. We need to complete, first of all, when we exit the silhouette, we still have issues with this man shoulder right here. So I'm just shrinking that, giving it a little bit of relief. Whenever you whenever you Google search like body references, please don't search up some gym body. That's not realistic. That's a very specific kind of character trope. It's athletic. It's a superhero. It's the kind of character body type we would give like a superhero. What you want to search up is like basic everyday body, something lightweight, something skinny, something not too, if for a mermaid that is, or for a main female lead beauty, whatever. You want to search up very feminine, very curvy. You want to search up less angularity, more curve. And that doesn't mean overweight. That's and again another trope in and of itself. You want to search up that neutral body type. That's easy to tell stories with. That's the point. We're trying to tell a story. Daenerys would have been a very different character if she had been 250 pounds. Or 350 pounds and as short as Emilia Clarke, which is like shorter than me or as short as I am. Like 5'2", 5'3". I'm 5'3", all right? I'm not 5'2". I think Emilia's 5'2". She's really short. Okay, so I'm easing that up, and then finally, we are, because you're going for that cartoony League of Legends type of face, I am extending this gesture to be a larger C. It's not easy to tell stories with larger bodies, just that's what the point I was trying to make. Or if you're female, look in the mirror because you're all perfect, says every feminist ever. All right, so before she was working out only one arm, like that one guy from Lady in the Water. And now we just completed the rest. So let's test it. Let's give it a quick test. Let's look at what happened now. Okie dokie. Let's have a look. So what we have is a corrected gesture here and here. Less strength on the arm here, they look smaller. And then select inverse, and we have a larger silhouette for the lower body. And that's really all we needed to do. Select inverse one more time so I can clean up this mess. Oh. Alright. So let's take a look at that. So this is where the silhouette was before. And sorry, I can't do the silhouette before and after. You're just going to have to go to the back in the video, but because I'm going to have to preserve the before for this final piece. But do you see that? Your painting will show. Your painting will thank you for this extra little level of revision. I've just been on a campaign to fix all of your silhouettes. Also, I think you you lost some space, and so you stunted her growth. She still looks like a shrimp to me, just because of that shortness. So I would like enlarge this whole piece. I would just go a little wild, because what's wrong here is you're losing a lot of space in the painting at the lower half, and so that's made her shorter. We don't want to run that risk. Filter, liquefy. We don't want to let the canvas render for us. We want to decide when this gesture ends. And this is because you didn't do a gesture stage. This is so much of this has proven, all these revisions that I just did, you can fix all and avoid all of this if you had just done a gesture stage. A couple of thumbnails of different gestures, that sounds like all the hard work to you, doesn't it? Sounds like, oh God, she said do thumbnails. But trust me, that's how you avoid the biggest mistakes. You think you're just going to do stuff on the fly. You're not. You're not some sort of prodigy with 7 brains. You can just mistake-free, freelance your way, or like freestyle your way through all the fundamental design hurdles. No, you're one-brained human, and you're immortal as well. Immortal. So you're just going to have to take a little bit of time to revise some of your choices. Make sure that these are all choices you really want to have. And now we've made a tangent, so this is just pissing me off. I'm just going to... There we go. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to try to fix this weird discoloration, and I'm almost done. Before, do you see how she looked like a tiny short little shrimp? Because of that just really basic C shape. I mean, you had an S, you had like a W, I don't know, you had all kinds of different kinds of gesture lines for the fin, because it's just like a spine. It can do whatever it wants. You had the ability to do something like this, where you can show where her legs are kind of bending, and then you can have like these amazing veil tail fish legs, and then you can make her body bend inward just a little bit, and then you have like a little bit of a gut, and then you have the boobies, which are like kind of floating in, so they don't have this inward C, they just have like this underwater floatationness to them. You have all of this gesture combination. You just went for bloop. This is because that was your first draft. Your first draft is always your most stiff draft. All right, and then you have her hair, and you can mess up with all kinds of gestures for her hair. Have you ever seen hair underwater? It's beautiful. You had all that gesture power to mess around with, and you didn't use it. Why? Let me complete this, and you had like that Mother effer. So the hair would have been somewhere here, all crazy, and then you have the neckline, shoulder line, and then you have some of her face showing through and the lashes. And there she is with her weird little mermaid skirt. And then you can do whatever you want with the hands. And this is really all that. And when you're trying to think about hands, what does she do? Is she in the middle of like a weird little hand paddle where she's trying to swim forward? Ask yourself all kinds of questions when it comes to function and animation. She's trying to swim forward right now. She's got a little belly button and her boobs. Okay, you had all of that to mess around with. Maybe she wasn't, maybe it is just a glamour shot, so you weren't going for a full animation. But it's still worth it just to try a second draft. I mean, it wouldn't have been that much of a taxation on your time. Every single one should have been like 5 seconds. A W? I don't know what I meant by W. I don't know. Don't write that down. That was like just me just kind of, that's just my medication. So we have after, which is a little bit less stiff. Again, her placement on the canvas is a little bit off. And you had all these extra types of fins and tails to mess around with. You had like something like this where we see the back of the fin as well, kind of just peeking through. So we have this perspective going, and then we have like a twisting of her tail, so it's not perfectly symmetrical like this, which is symbol. When you think fishtail, you think that's what you went for. You gave me that. Why not something that's a little bit more twisted, and we have like a crazy overlapping of pieces together? Again, that's a lot of fun. So you had all of that to mess around with. And you didn't have a chance to explore it because you went for draft number 1. The first draft is always the stiff one. Write that back to me. So you had some more that you could have had fun with like this, or there's just too many combinations. There's just so much fun and so diverse to just have all of that. I think that's all I can handle today when it comes to this tablet. These are all lighting. They don't really have to do with silhouette. I kind of do get the feeling of a heavyweight, so this is pretty good silhouette wise, except it looks very short. So I'm just going to do some quick corrections for this. He looks very short, especially because he's got that armor. So it looked like he was some kind of satyr, I don't know, that half goat thing. And that's when you have short legs, and that's fine. But he looked like he's a big guy, you know, a big Thor-like character. And you had his lower body feel so small and so short. Bottom left, oh, this is just a new addition to my decor at home. I got 3 color swatches. I've got this puke green, this like really like charcoal black, and I've got like a light gray, and I'm just testing different carpet ideas for my house. So yeah, and these are a couple extra swatches I got from the contractor. So I'm just I'm thinking the green would look really nice, and it would be green screen, so I could probably mess around with some kind of weird astral pattern with some kind of nearby projector or something like that. But yeah, that's just some recent stuff I've been doing. Oh, don't mind this part. This is just I don't mind that. Okay, so that's just what I was trying to show you. The lower body is just a little bit too short. Merge down. Okay, and then with this one, the environment with the, I'm just waiting for this to figure out what it's doing. You have, we're going to do a quick silhouette test. It's not the same as before. It doesn't really have to do with gesture, but silhouette testing is really, really wonderful for all kinds of design. But I'm just going to quickly do something like this. And then I'm going to add that extra piece. There we go. Alright, so let's bring these beside each other. Let's bring these little doodads beside one another. Okay. And then let's throw off a background into some black. Or actually, I'm just going to make the background white and make these doodads black. Okay. So, let's talk. What, if I were to tell you this is in the foreground and this is in the background, would you believe me? Probably not. But if I were to tell you this was in the background, and we got a couple of other one of these also in the background. Come on, I believe in you. And then another one of these in the background. Just like that. And if I were to tell you that all of this, would you believe me then? What you had before was you had objects of equal weight represented as miles apart. And it made the painting look extremely boring. You also had more sky than ground, which means that we are very small in this world. We see more of the sky because we're tiny. We don't really see where a lot of the surface. We have to be pretty high on a helicopter to get these kinds of shots. So we're always too close on the ground. If you try to take a landscape shot, you're really gonna have to try not to get the sky in the photograph. But if it's just your vision, you're always just going to be limited to seeing more of the sky than you see of the earth. You just see more of it. It's more accessible. So what I'm trying to tell you is you didn't take advantage of this. If we see more of the sky, then these buildings should have been just a little bit more in perspective. Sorry, that's the tablet. Okay. A little bit more in perspective, like this crazy bird's eye view perspective. And then he's like this really tiny guy, and the landscape is really low, and we're seeing all this fire, and we don't have this weird border-like object here perfectly parallel with the edge of the canvas, even though the horizon is tilted. Then we would have less confusion and more design power. So reviewing your silhouettes just as pieces on a white board, just to practice the staging, just like as chess pieces, you answer a lot of the design questions. If you think this detail, if you think these little star pieces, if you think this will render and carry that and make up for that lack of strategy, you're wrong. I still saw it. A lot of people will see it and they say, huh, this is subpar. It's not really that best painting that I will see top 10, 8 out of 8 meet. It's not that kind of painting. And that's because you haven't designed on every possible avenue. And how are you supposed to design along avenues that you don't have a word for in your vocabulary yet? Okay? So I hope you guys are understanding how valuable it is to test out your silhouettes. I really hope you guys understand. It means a lot. This piece right here, the silhouette's fine, I guess. Feels a little feminine because of the big hips, so I would shrink that. Let's take a look at where we last saw something like this, which is Gnosis, League of Legends. Let's see what they did. When was the last time you saw a male body that was this much triangle with the hips that tiny? Do you see how they use this trope? Do you see how effeminate yours looks? Looks like it's a lady, but you gave me man pecs. And I guess a lot of you, I guess it's true, like I really could have critiqued all of you based on this major issue today, which is the silhouettes are not reading. Alright, I'm just using my mouse, sorry about that. Okay, so League of Legends, the designers there are using these tropes I'm talking about. Okay, when was the last time a character like this was designed in popular media? Right here, and just take a look at that. They have to draw him like this, or else from a distance it will just read as a cube guy. They have to exaggerate these silhouettes so that it really looks masculine. Masculine is heavier at the top, skinnier at the bottom. Feminine is lighter at the top, fatter at the bottom. Period. These are tropes. Learn them. Okay? So this is, it kind of looked pregnant or effeminate. Didn't really look like a man to me. Didn't look like he had the upper body strength to carry this gold brick around. Alright, so those are my thoughts today. Wacom, please feel free to send me more of your products. I'd love some more possible swatches for my carpet. I think the colors on the interior of your products and the interior mechanics of your products are just wonderful colors for possible carpet renovation idea stuff. So please feel free to send me more. I'd love to see what kind of colors you guys have inside your tablets. I'd love to see what you guys have in a Cintiq. I'd love to see what you guys have in that companion trash. I would love to see what you guys have in a bamboo or other old stuff. I would love to look inside and just explore the colors in your products. Please, please, please don't be shy. You can contact me through my channel, through Facebook, through Instagram, through Twitter. You can email me through a form submission on my website. Please don't be shy, Wacom. Okay, and that's it for today. Yes, I do play League of Legends. Where do you think all this rage comes from? Alright, so I will let you guys go. I'm sorry about all the fucking technical difficulties today. They are unbelievable. I will get on getting a new tablet as soon as possible. I can't keep using this. The space is so small. This weird pen pressure problem is going to drive me up the wall. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Bye. And my bad. I have an announcement to make before I go. I'm sorry about that. The design challenge, the next design challenge is up. I'm sorry about that. I'm not done yet. Let me find it for you. I just remembered right before I closed. Right after I closed it. So, okay, so the design challenge is up. The reason why I posted it up this early and in this kind of format is because it's a very casual challenge. And the reason why I say that is because I haven't given you a deadline yet. The purpose of it is to keep you guys busy when I'm off on the 25th. My surgery is on the 25th. I cannot believe it's only like 4 weeks away. Oh my God, or 3 weeks away. So please make sure that if you want to join as soon as possible, because I might make it the deadline, or as soon as I'm back, as soon as I can talk just like this, and I'm talking right now this comfortably. As soon as I feel like I can, you know, not break a cast or do whatever, just getting up and walking over here, or overexert myself. Sometimes when I talk, you know, your blood flows differently and I might just, I don't know, pop a stitch or something. So I don't know. You know me when I teach, I'm like passionate and really enraged. So I might just make it 2 weeks after my surgery date. They're telling me I'll be fine by 1 week after. But please get started as soon as possible, because the deadline is within a month, is all I'm saying. But I haven't given the deadline yet. That's because I'm trying to let myself recover. Okay, I'm done. Thank you, everyone. I hope this challenge is fun for you. And I will see you guys Thursday for some more salt mining. Bye-bye.